Hello everyone, I hope you're doing fine. Today I had two encounters, one with a one-to-one client and one with a member, where I realized that it might be time to talk about messaging angles and give you guys a quick crash course as into how to find messaging angles, what they are, and how to use them to give your offers an edge. Okay, so generally spoken, what I'll introduce you to in this training is relevant for freebies, for mini offers, for digital products, may they be in your funnel or listed somewhere on Etsy. It is something that will apply to every single offer you create, and I think it will be really, really, really helpful for you. Okay, so I brought you a cheat sheet, and you can find it linked in the description. Hi there. Hi, lovely. Okay, so this is basically how I think about this. Okay, so we need to start with a rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is you would want to create offers that are in demand and that are proven to sell. So in an ideal world, you get closer to where you want to be in your business by starting with something that already has product to market fit. Let me explain that. Right now in my business, I can create very freely. I can talk about what I think is meaningful, what I think is helpful. And in order to get to this place in my business, I had to start offering something that's in demand. So I can start building up a client base, solving first initial problems that they care about, to build up the relationship and learn more about problems that they care about. So I can develop from the inside out more products that have product to market fit, purely because I have an audience that tells me, we need this, can you create it for us, right? So you will in your business need an entry point offer where you have product to market fit, so you can actually start to work with people, get paid to work with people, and then lean into what they need, serve them with that, have an infinite stream of problems to solve, and with that never run out of potential problems to solve. Okay, so the biggest shortcut, and I don't use the word shortcut lightly because I don't ever want you guys to think that this is get rich quick in any sort of form. But it's true, the biggest shortcut into growth in your business will be if you focus first on an offer, on a niche where you know that there is high demand, where you know that these offers are proven to sell, and you, with your own genuine expertise and experience and cognitive labor, contribute something new, so you add value to the market through that. Okay, rule of thumb is go for something that is proven to sell, that has proven product to market fit, solve an in demand painful problem that people are willing to spend money on in a new way. And typically the higher the demand, the higher is the competition, and the higher the competition is, the more you need to edge your solution, right? And this is what we would be doing. Edging, in Funnels and Ads Pro, I often talk about razor blade offers versus butter knife offers, because when we run paid, we actually need razor blade offers and not butter knife offers. We need offers that are so desirable, and we talk about different ways that make those offers desirable, but that they convert to ice cold traffic, so that people who have never heard from you before see an ad, click on it, see the offer, immediately get how they benefit, and are willing to spend money on without knowing, liking, or trusting you, right? So those are like razor blade offers. And how do you create a razor blade? Well, you just like you sharpen a sword, you edge, right? And this is what we'll be doing here in this training. Hi. Yes, please. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, guys. Okay, so I will check the comments along the way if questions should pop up. But I also want to get through with this relatively quickly, because I know I always hold you hostage for an average of 40 minutes. So I'm trying to get my time a little bit down. I could talk about this all day, basically. Okay, so what is my edge formula? My edge formula is, well, start with something that is in demand, that people want, right? So when you, for example, think of Secret Weapon PLR and the products that we choose to create there, they are products that we see in Inside Factory, have relatively high demand with relatively low competition. So we pick ideas of products, types of products that people are already looking for, that already have demand, right? Or for example, when I'm focusing on a product in my business, right now I can lean into what my members want, but my initial products, they were workbook templates, course launch planner. It was topics that I knew from what I witnessed in the audience and in the industry. People are looking for those things, right? But I presented them in an edged way. So pick something that you very likely know sells based on sales data you can find through tools like Inside Factory on Etsy or tools like Jungle Scout on Amazon, for Amazon KDP, or because you see a lot of Facebook ads advertising products like that. And I'm not saying to copy anyone, I'm saying to get the general idea. There are hundreds of different content solutions out there, right? There's different solutions for Instagram stories, for crafting a content calendar, for selling in your through stories with your content. People are obviously looking, because you see so many different ads that solve the same problem. People are obviously looking for content solutions. So if you are in that niche, go create a content solution. This is what I mean with take a winning product idea, right? If a lot of people create products like this, if a lot of people solve a similar problem, it is an in-demand problem, people are willing to spend money on it, take that. Then when you create your own solution that solves this problem, when you create your own version of that product, right? When you create your own version of a content calendar, when you create your own version of a fall asleep yoga solution, right? Then you would want to think of, how can I give this an edge? And I pulled an example from the conversation that I had with one of my members here. And this ad that I was giving her feedback on had the problem that it was lacking an edge. So it basically was saying solely, plan and sell your first online course. This is a 3-day challenge, right? So as a beginner marketer, you might not think there's nothing wrong with this, because people are looking to plan and create and sell online courses, and people are looking for challenges where they can learn that for free as well. So, good in theory. Still, she was getting relatively high cost per lead. Why is that? Because this doesn't have an edge. How do we find an edge? We use 3 steps that we then combine towards an edge, and we can also just hyper focus on one, or we can combine 2, or we can combine all 3 of them. But it always starts with hyper specificity. For every single offer, for every single product that you touch, you would always want to start by centering the customer and trying to understand and emphasize with your buying persona, right? Who is that? Who's your audience for the product? Because this product, this offer has more than one audience. It has many, many, many audiences. How do you find audiences? You look for, who is this for, right? You can bundle by demographics, psychographics, skills, prerequisites, aspirations, dreams. I worked out a quick example for you, but I could go into a lot more detail with that. But who are audiences for planning and selling your first online course, right? It could be corporate professionals that now look for a way to transition out of their corporate job or add some side income. It could be teachers, educators, trainers who already know how to teach and kind of want to make the most out of it. It could be IT and tech experts that see the need for their skill on the market. It could be influencers, content creators who look for new ways to monetize their audience. It could be creatives who are also looking, to add an additional income stream to stabilize their income from their gigs. It could be side hustlers, right? So people who are looking for a way to make money on the side, and course creation has a low entry barrier. It could be digital nomads that don't have, a lot of ways to make money from a distance, and course creation is one solution for them to add an additional income stream, and they just love the freedom. It could be people who are really passionate about certain health and wellness topics, and they want to share that with the world, right? So they have gone through a certain health experience themselves, and now they want to share what they have learned, right? Or they are trained in a certain area and they think that what they have to share is underrepresented in traditional medicine, right? So they come from a different field of purpose. And when you look into this and you emphasize with each buying persona and you say, why would they want to create a course? You understand why it's not this simple, right? Behind every offer is a human who needs this offer for satisfying a need that they have in their individual, beautiful, complex personality, right? And this is something we kind of need to start thinking about before we even create our products, right? In an ideal world, if we take a product that's already created, if we modify a product, we would want to look at that and we want to say, how can I present this product in a way that my ideal client, my customer, my buying persona understands how to get the most out of the product? Because that does not only increase the perceived value, it increases the actual value when your buying persona, your customer, understands how they benefit. And this will be very, very different because when you start to think in buying personas, you also are able to emphasize with what specific problems they have, and that will allow you to present the solution in a different way and, sometimes even modify or recreate the solution. So for example, an early retiree, right? They have different motives, but they also have different problems, right? Versus, for example, an influencer or content creator, somebody who is just retired and now looking for a way to smartly use their time and have their wisdom preserved for the world, for their after them. They might have problems navigating Zoom for the first time. Versus a content creator influencer, they might be concerned about how will algorithm changes affect their course sales, right? Two very different levels of the conversation, right? Two very, very different places to be in. And I worked out just a few example problems for you, but why I did this exercise was to help you hopefully start to understand how nuanced the discussion is for something that seems so simple and plain and self-explanatory as plan and sell your first online course, right? It will be the maps in which your buying personas prescribe meaning to what that means, extremely different, extremely different. And we see people in early stages of markets succeeding with simple messaging, but that is just because the demand is so high and the competition is so low that the market kind of, grabs everything they can get. But as markets professionalize, we need to have a more nuanced discussion with all the different audiences that are in the market and that are streaming into the market, right? Because, for example, online course creation is a growing market. There are more and more audiences streaming into that market. And we can get a very good chunk, breadcrumbs for the size of the market, but for us as individuals, probably a very significant chunk of that market by being hyper-specific and by putting us in the shoes of our customer. Right? So what would that look like now if we make this a little bit more specific, right? So for example, we would add an audience call out to our offer, to our sales pages, to our ads. Here, the audience call out, if it's, for example, for retirees, would be wisdom keepers, turn your life skills into cash, right? And the hook for the ad, the angle for the messaging would be ready to turn years of experience into a profitable online course in our 3-day challenge. Join our 3-day challenge and make your golden years even more rewarding. If it's an influencer, right? If it's a content creator, we might want to also address where they are in the journey, because we might not necessarily want to work with complete newbies that don't have an audience that they can sell the course to, because then that's the next problem, and maybe we don't have the skills to help people to grow the audience and we're just purely focused on the course creation element. Then we could say create a course and get paid to actually help your followers, right? And then our hook could be looking to diversify your income stream and engage your followers in a new way. Our 3-day challenge will show you how to plan and sell your first online course, right? So the same offer, a very, very different conversation. And now within that, there even, so, and I just zoomed into 2 of these and I just pulled a few of the audiences that would be relevant. that can be so much deeper. Like I said, people who do this intuitively right usually come from one of these groups, and they lead the conversation from their angle. So they're often very, very successful just because they have had that real life experience, and now they know how to talk about it, and now they know what to exactly talk about and what to include in the offer. But just because they actually have gone through this themselves, and this is why they do it intuitively right. They don't even consider other perspectives because they just did their thing. They were just doers. They did their thing. They were successful with it, and now they show up in a way that they resemble actually this after persona, right? And without knowing it, through every pore of their soul, because for every pore of their skin, they communicate that wholeheartedly and in full confidence and conviction towards their ideal audience, because they actually aren't aware that there are other perspectives than their own. They just have gone through it, they experience that this works for them, right? And they sell it with full conviction. What typically happens is that they kind of push the boundary in getting people results, because they often then start to realize that they came with a set of prerequisites and skills and traits that are not directly translatable to everyone. So when you are more specific in your targeting, right, this person that goes in so broad has the problem, right? And I know she's more from a younger perspective, right? She has the problem if she doesn't dial in the audience, right? Even if that would sell, and we already see with the higher cost per lead that we have room for optimization, but I'm sure, she will sell, and that will be completely fine. A step later, when you're about to create the result at scale through, your own online course and your own coaching program, you run into the issue that if you have not specified who this is for, it's for everyone who wants to get the result, right? That you will still, because although your funnel was leaking, right, you still get people in because there's so high demand. But now you cannot emphasize with this person, because this person has never opened or installed Canva. They don't know how to change the background color, so they struggle so much doing what you feel is like baby steps, that if you deeply care about getting them results, you'll struggle at latest at this point in the journey, right? So specificity, hyper specificity, emphasizing with your buying persona, getting really, really clear in who you want to make this offer towards is really key, especially if you work with people and coach them and you care about their results. But also, for example, if you sell the products on Etsy, for example, because there you need to play a volume game and you need to understand how to take one product and make it hyper relevant for sub target audiences in order to stand out in a competitive market, right? So it's also important for other reasons, but it's important either way, so do it. Okay, so let me just quickly check back. Okay, there are no questions so far. Let me go back in. Hi, Jasmine. So nice to see you. Okay, next step is personality, right? So after we understood what potential buying personas are out there, we would want to focus our messaging on the one or the few, the cluster, right? That we most resonate with, right? And when we think about these, we can actually form clusters, right? So let me just show you this. You can use ChatGPT for this, by the way. Out of all these buying personas, can you form 3 relevant cluster audiences? I want to speak to a bit broader audiences. Okay. So we can also, let's use the default model. We can also zoom in and out, right? So we can look at an audience and we decide in how many pieces we chop it, right? So we can say, okay, we just quarter it, or we can say we do it more, and then it's like dough for a pizza, right? And you decide how you cut it, and then you can put pieces together again until you find an audience size that you're like, okay, that's a good chunk of people, right? It's quite broad, while it's still specific enough for me to stand out, to not speak to everyone. So here you can see how it lifestyle explorers. This cluster is individuals from various professions who seek to explore and enhance their lifestyle. They are likely open to new experiences and personal growth. You can tailor your messaging to focus on how your product or service can contribute to their overall life enrichment, right? So this is the typical course angle is, people working from the beach with a laptop. This is the typical kind of lifestyle angle, or one of the lifestyle angles. Skill enthusiast, your marketing can highlight how your offering is helping them to excel in their chosen areas of interest, right? So this is about self-actualization as a skilled professional. This is, for example, what I do with my business. I feel it's less a lifestyle business. Also, it enables me to live a beautiful lifestyle. I feel it's more that I can really drive on geeking out about funnels and marketing and these kind of things. And I'm seeking to become a real expert in that way and to actualize my full potential. So this would speak very likely most to me. And then here we have the aspirational dreamers. Your messaging can center around how your product or service, so helping to create the course with their aspirations, empowers them to reach their goals. Okay, so this is lifestyle. This is also self-actualization, but not from a skill level, if that makes sense. This is, for example, what we said about the wellness enthusiast that feels like the person who had such good results with the carnivore diet that they now need to let everyone know about it, right? So this is more purpose-driven in that sense. Okay, so find an audience size chunk that you resonate with, the biggest one you can still wholeheartedly, confidently serve while still having an edge. So this is where we need to look at your personality, right? So who can you emphasize with? Who can you serve in confidence? What does that portion of the audience look like? Zoom in as far as little as you need, as far as you must, to be able to have a clear edge and a clear audience call out. So for example, for me, the audience call out of skilled enthusiasts, something like that would work, right? I would probably call out creatives or something. I could also see myself, calling out people who are seeking a freedom lifestyle. So that would still give an edge, because it still speaks to the buying motive behind what I have to offer. Now, there are different ways to highlight your personal journey in the way we speak about our offer, and through that give an edge. So the first one is with the help of someone who, right? So this is now where you would want to bring in your own expertise. And I know that the lady here, she is a lounge expert and she has over 100 members in her membership. So she can say, with the help of a lounge expert who has helped or who is helping 100 plus women on a monthly basis, right? With the help of who are you? So who are you in this situation, and how does it matter towards your product, right? So for example, in my case, I would say with the help of a multiple 7-figure membership owner. So this is where you would want to flex your expertise, right? With the help of someone who's 5 years happy, healthy on carnivore, right? If that's your angle, whichever is your experience angle, this is how you can give an edge. I do acknowledge that first you need to get experience to have that edge, but I also always recommend to not go for offers where you cannot offer that in the area of, I'm coaching people and I'm helping people with that. So then pick a smaller transformation, pick an offer and a product that you can create and sell with confidence. Don't overextend yourself, right? And don't make up any expertise, like, obviously. If you can't highlight it, then another or an additional or an alternative thing to do is to go after your values, right? So for me, one of the biggest edge that I gave my offers in my business was without having to sell high ticket. That was not in alignment with my values. I didn't want to do that. So I very boldly communicated, without having to sell high ticket. That ultimately translated into the third edge, which was my unique methodology. Because my values forbid me to go down this route, I had to find alternative ways to get to the kind of income and impact I wanted to make. And that resulted in my unique signature framework, right? So the third edge that you would want to give a product is the unique opportunity. And this is your unique approach, your unique methodology towards that, right? And when you, for example, work with a done for you digital product, a really, really good idea is to go into that product, look through it, and say, based on my experience, what portion of the product do I value, right? So, and let's use something extremely simple where you think you cannot pull anything out. Let's say it's social media templates, right? And you see that the social media templates, you go through them and you see that, oh, there's actually a large variety of different post formats in there. I think that's really practical. That's something to pull out and communicate as really practical, right? Because then the variety focused social media templates are a new opportunity because they're not social media templates. They were created with variety in mind, right? So with that, it becomes a new opportunity. So even if you don't create something yourself, go in, look at it and say, what do I value about it? And by the way, also, if you should think like, oh, this would be better if it's like this, right? With our PLR products, you can also modify it and you can make it better. And with that, you can make it a complete new opportunity and you can add your own genuine experience and expertise. That's going the extra mile, and that will in fact set you apart quite a bit from people, who just take as is and maybe potentially just change the colors, right? Or go through the thing and see what posts resonate most with you, which you find most aesthetically pleasing, and pick those for your cover image, right? So that's another way for you to make it a new opportunity based on your genuine experience and values and what you like about it, right? So that's infusing you and taking who you are as an opportunity to give whatever you offer an edge, right? And when you are on that side where you create the program, where you create the actual content, then create it with that in mind, right? Create it with who am I as it's relevant to this, and how do I need to approach this and birth this into this world in a way that it aligns with my values. Be clear about that and then be vocal about that, because this is what sets you apart, because there are quite a few people out there just like you that want to approach things in the way that align with your values, with their values, and then you guys are a good fit for each other, right? There are also a lot of people who love the high ticket train, right? So there are a lot of ads out there that are like focused on a high ticket offer, right? And let's say, well, get 5 qualified high ticket leads. Those people will see my ads and they will be like, oh, without selling high ticket, why would you not want to sell high ticket if you can, right? But them and I, we're not today, right, on the same wavelength, and that's completely fine. But there are other people that are like, yes, I don't want to sell high ticket. There's an option. Great, let me do the extra work because I really just want it to be good, and I really need this to help people, etc. Right? So with that, with the specificity that you add through emphasizing with your buying personas, like say who is it for in general, then get a really clear picture on who can I help with my current genuine level of expertise in this in a way that aligns with my values, and through that, in a new way, through a new methodology, this is when you have an edge. And this is when you have a product that is very, very distinct and that will definitely stand out, even if it's something that is quite popular already. There's a question. I'm looking at creating a target audience, a new audience, doulas and childbirth educators, doulapreneurs. Okay, I'd like to offer digital products that they can use in their business. How would can this process help me? Sorry, I'm jumping in the mid. Okay, absolutely, I love this. So the first thing that I would ask myself, okay, doulapreneurs, is this a big enough audience? Let me just think. Is this a big enough audience? I feel so now I'm putting on my Facebook ads head, right? So because I'm thinking about if you can target them effectively with Facebook ads, you can't. For if you want to build funnels that you can drive traffic towards with Facebook ads, you will have a relatively rough time, and you would benefit looking at this in, okay, so what are the kind of products that I want to offer, right? Who are they for if it's not only doulas, right? So could it be also parenting coaches? Could it also be, moms who want to self-educate? Could it be like a bigger theme angle either on, pre-postpartum or early childcare, self-care for the mom? What is the biggest possible umbrella for this that I still feel confident with, right? And what's the unifier? So what is from your own value system? What is important? Maybe you think that it's too rushed in today's society and you want everyone to pay more attention to this and embrace the process and use it to build a really strong foundation for your child while making sure mommy is taken care of. Maybe that's your value angle on this. So I would investigate what are the type of products that I would love to create, right? Then I would look into what are all the potential buying personas that I have for this. I would say from a demographics perspective, from psychographic perspectives, dreams, aspirations, lifestyles, right? Really go down the whole spectrum. Then look into yourself based on your expertise, your genuine expertise. What's the biggest bucket that you still feel comfortable serving, and how do you serve based on your values? So what is the common denominator from your values? That is the tonality that will need to inform everything. And from that, in the last layer, you boil down your methodology. Like I said, maybe it is that, and maybe it is an angle of mindfulness. Maybe it is an angle of traditional values. Maybe it is an angle of alternative medicine, right? So think about, and maybe it's a combination of that, right? Then the last step is to think about what are my unique methodologies. And from that, I would pick brand name, and I would make sure that I write down my vision for the brand, and all the products, my whole offer suite that I create serves this. And then, if you want to, for example, create a program, etc., around that, it would also inform that, right? So then you would look at it as in a program transformation. Okay, if I now want to, for this audience, create programs, what pain points do they have? Okay, this is big enough, for example, for a $297 mid-ticket course. What's the transformation for this course? Then break it down from there. So this is how I would approach it. It's a growing audience, but it's still really hard to. So, if you, for example, selling on Etsy and people are specifically searching for it, which we know because we included doula articles in products in Secret Weapon recently, because they have relatively high demand with relatively low competition, there is definitely increased search volume. But you also have to distinguish with the traffic. Is it search based, and are you capitalizing on something on traffic on a marketplace, search traffic, right? Because if you're capitalizing on search traffic, you're also entering someone's buying cycle internal at a later point in time, right? So when somebody is already searching, they are further in the buying process than somebody who is on Facebook and you present with your ads. They were just scrolling. They might have not had any interest or buying intent at all, right? So now when we translate it from that platform away towards Facebook, we can't target because we can't target in the health space. If we target by profession, our bucket is way too small. You get really high CPMs and you're not reaching the right type of people. So you could only work with a strategic freebie, filter really big, go for lead generation first, and then make offers after nurturing. Because again, you reach them at a much, much earlier stage in the buying cycle, where they might not even be in the stage where they have demand yet. So that's a lot of additional work for you. And in that sense, I would set myself up for control and success, because I personally, but that's my personal preference, I don't like being dependent on traffic on a platform. Used to sell on Amazon and to Amazon, and I really did not like that I have no control over that at all, versus I feel with paid ads on Google and Facebook, I have more control. And in that sense, I would also think about how can I set myself up for success there. And then I would say, okay, I need to go into the broadest audience that still makes sense, right? So I need to broaden up. I'm a childbirth educator, and I would say definitely yes to audience size. It's bigger than you would think. Yes, I agree. But again, you have the targeting issue and you have the timing issue as well. It's a huge audience, right? I'm just purely speaking from when I cannot directly. I might even be able to target certain job descriptions like doula, etc. But the audience size will not be in the millions, which is the kind of size that we need for the algorithm to work really well, right? So I'm just distinguishing kind of by platform and how I can tap into the traffic that is there, because it doesn't serve us if the audience is there if we cannot steer it towards our offer, if that makes sense. No, I think it's good. It's good if you broaden and anchor in through another angle, and then you can let people know on the sales page, right? Who is this for? This is for doulas, this is for childbirth educators, this is for parenting coaches, this is for moms who want to be educated. So you can still have a solve. Okay, so how you would want to approach this is you would solve the problem and then let people know who it's for, right? So is the problem we don't fully know how to best home birth, for example, then that in itself could be a beautiful solution. It's like the magical home birth experience where you design it fully through, and then it's a package that doulas can use with their clients, that moms who are interested in home birth can use, that parenting coaches can use, right? So think about what's the problem there to be solved, and then we can always specify further who this is for. But it opens you up to additional sales that you might need to finance that reach. Creating a membership where I teach work-life blend for moms who are having a hard time balancing both worlds and simultaneously keeping their career ambitions going. Is this a good buying persona I'm targeting? I'm having a little difficulty making my offer a little tangible. A lot of the things that I teach is in the mindset bucket. So I think for your target audience, you need a very specific, very tangible, very practical entry point, right? Because they are tight on time, and because they're so consumed, they have very, very short attention span, right? So you need to have a really effective micro solution for a really, really painful problem for them, and then you can buy their attention, and from there you can educate. So this will be the perfect scenario for me for an option funnel where I have the membership that educates on the broader problem and situation and what you do in the membership. This is kind of your bucket where everyone lands in, and then you have your hyper specific front end offer that captures their attention, right? So in your case, I would not run ads directly to the membership, even if it's a mini, because impulse buying behavior does not work for these kind of audiences, because they don't have the mental capacity to grasp our offer, because there's so there's so much demand and overwhelm, right? So for them, we need a pointier front end offer where we can say, this is the solution, by the way, get it for $9 or less. And then if they already want the solution that is very, very easy to understand, solves a problem that's immediately top of mind for them, then we can get their attention. Then we can funnel people over into the membership, which is when they read it, they will be like, yes, I need this, right? But it's just because there are so many other things top of mind for them. We kind of need to cut through and really get into their very narrow window of attention, especially true if we work with cold traffic, right, and not with a launch scenario. So for your target audience, working moms who have a hard time balancing both worlds, you need to do something around scheduling, right? Something around scheduling and how to really master scheduling and find time in the day and present that as the new opportunity. That would be my very, very first guess. Or something like organizing for house, home, etc. So they are seeking quick fixes because they think if they can just optimize a little bit more, they will get a breather. This would be my hypothesis on your ideal client and on your audience. I'm currently selling digital products. I want to offer a subscription model for my digital products. Do I need to establish my digital product store first before offering a subscription? So I think, if you're at the point where you don't necessarily want to drive your own traffic to a store, I would leverage Etsy for that. It's great for digital product sellers. And in your delivery sheet, you can make people aware that you have a subscription. For you, then it's critical that you set your store up in a way that you target an audience that has ongoing demand, right? If you, for example, have digital products and you create done for you social media content on a monthly basis, now that's a great option for a subscription that you can upsell to, right? You need to check with the Etsy guidelines how much you can offer and upsell in the delivery sheet, but I know you can at least include a freebie so you can get people on your email list and nurture and upsell from there. If you offer recipes, right? Or let's go back to the previous example. One gateway offer for you would be done for you quick and easy meal plans that keep you fueled to meet all your demands in business and that keep your picky eater children satisfied, right? So that would be something for you. And in that case, it would also be something for you to always have those monthly meal plans and grocery plans, for example. That could also be something that can be translated from just a digital product to a subscription store. But think about, what problem am I solving? And is it a reoccurring problem? If it's a reoccurring problem, or if it's a longer transformation, then it has monthly recurring revenue potential. Typically, if it's something that requires transformation, it would also require some component of knowledge transfer and coaching. Then you are in the typical coaching membership that I teach, which has the 3 components of content, community, and coaching. Right? If you say, I am a digital product seller and I'm out when it comes to community and coaching, then you need to find a recurring problem to get recurring revenue from your subscription. But it's definitely doable. And if I was focused on digital products, I would try to find exactly that. And for example, I would make new workout plans, right? Or I would offer personalization in my membership. So I would try to find things that I can solve also in a recurring way by, for example, positioning the recurring offering as the solution for it, right? So, for example, you always fall off your workout routine. Well, it's because it's boring for you. If you always fall off, you should try to have a monthly new workout that keeps you excited about it and that allows you to find that workout that actually works for you. Right. So I would, if that was my belief, I would go with this. I actually do something that is very, very simple because I can't stick with anything else. But, depending again on my values and what I would identify as ongoing problems in my life, I would craft an ongoing kind of solution for that. If I was, quote unquote, just digital product seller, and if I would not ever want to expand into selling knowledge, selling coaching. Hi. I probably did it wrong because I was focusing on the problem, chaos, but then didn't align with the path of transformation I was offering. If the problem is chaos, I'm not sure if the problem chaos is specific enough. For example, for you, Leila, inbox chaos, because I'm experiencing it. No, we're not experiencing it. Actually, the team is absolutely fantastic at the moment, but inbox overwhelm is a real sub-problem of business chaos, right? If you have a front-end offer that is like the organized inbox, the inbox solution, right, from solopreneur to you have a team, right, and have a front-end offer just around that would be a great gateway into your membership. I think for the last membership that I remember, the last version that I saw, the problem was the same as the busy working mothers that juggle different, or busy professionals that juggle different responsibilities. It's when somebody's in overwhelm that they have this limited awareness span, and if they don't immediately understand what's the quick win in there, they're just out. So for you, it's like option offer funnels. And I think that is more the bigger problem for you than not having the right audience or not having the right membership offer. It's the entry point that's creating the problems in your case. From my perspective, what I believe I see. I'm currently on Etsy. I'm targeting small business owners. Small business owners, you could do monthly done for you promotions, right? So you could every month you could, for example, give them a kit with, and also small business owners. What kind of small businesses, right? So I would zoom on a specific small business, let's say spa owners and beauty salon owners, and I would do their like a monthly done for you promo for them, including social media posts, emails, so they always have something new, different branding bundles, etc. So I would basically be their little like marketing assistant in that regard, because that's something that I can do relatively easily, right? That could be something that I see working for small business owners for sure. So think of what kind of small business owners, and then having like a monthly marketing bundle done for them with a promotion. I think that would work really, really well. Of course. Google Drive chaos, Canva chaos. Google Drive chaos and Canva chaos are not as painful as email chaos. Why is that? Because nobody sees your Google Drive and Canva chaos. It just costs you time. But in the inbox, there are people waiting for your reply. So you have this added layer of pressure of getting this sorted. Always look for the most painful problem to solve. And what makes something more painful is when you're exposed to shame because you are not coming up, like not able to follow up with an obligation, like something you know should be doing, and it's very visible. That's more pressure than if it's, just you and the chaos on Canva, right? Something else would be if you're Canva coach, right, and you have chaos and now you need to organize it because you're afraid what your members think about it. But in these cases, it just costs you time. And, this is often not painful enough for people to get it sorted, right? I know it should be, and from a logical perspective, they should be willing to pay for that, but they don't. It's just, this is how we are, right? So in that sense, I would pick a chaos that is very painful because it's public and it's clear that you are letting others down and you have additional like obligation and pressure. That's the kind of chaos I would solve for sure. Yeah. So always look for that as well when you think of also what creates a bigger problem is, for example, if I'm the mom and I'm very busy in my work and I don't eat healthy for myself, well, most people it's like, it's just me. I can do it, right? Don't deserve more. But if it's sacrifice, are you willing to keep sacrificing the health of your child because you don't know how to properly meal plan? Ouch, right? Because most people care more about others than they do about themselves. So that's something when you're looking for the most painful problem to solve, think of that. Be a little, put on your psychologist hat a little bit, your hobby psychologist hat, and say, well, do people actually care enough about themselves? Is this important enough for people, or are they just brushing it off? And typically when others get involved, it gets more painful for people because they care often about others more, and they often care about others' opinions more than they care about themselves or their own opinion of themselves. So think about that when crafting your offers too, right? So when we also go back to the example with the childbirth at home, right? So you could also say, well, everybody told you it's risky. This is how you set, and I have no idea what you do, right? And if that's something that you can legally display, but this is also your, super safe, so you can reassure everyone who is your parents and who is doubtful about you giving birth at home that you got it under control. I would 100% weave that in the copy if that's something that I would help with, because people care about how they're perceived by others. People care about pleasing others, making others happy, taking care of others more than they care about pleasing themselves, etc. It's true. So keep it in mind when you think about the most painful problem to solve. And you can use tools like ChatGPT to a certain extent to surface problems, but I really feel I think it's a good idea to also feel really into yourself and say, how true is that for me? how pressing is that for me? What would make this really important and meaningful to me? So really work with yourself in that regard. Okay, you guys, I hope this was helpful. It again got so long. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I can't shut up. But I hope that this was insightful and that it helps you to think a little bit more about how to give your offers an edge. And that from now on, whenever you are creating or refining a product or an offer, you first put yourself into who are the buying personas for that, what's the buying persona bucket that I can resonate, emphasize with, based on my experience, confidently help. What's the way in which I can help them based on my values, and how does that inform the methodology that I pick? Or, if you have a product, and how does that inform what elements of the product I want to highlight to give my overall offer an edge? That was it for now. I see you very soon in another one. Bye.